This is Rockin' with J-Man is with Skweezy Jibbs. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just got out of practice and I'm here talking to you now, so it's going good.
What do you practice? Medicine?
Um, no, I practice lacrosse, like sports wise.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. With the that's the thing with the ball and the stick and like I don't even know how the ball stays in the little basket, but I guess that's what practice is for.
Yeah, it's called cradling. It's like a physics kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
So let's get right into it. You got a huge movie coming out soon. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, so it's called Skweezy Jibbs Makes a Movie, and it's about me, Skweezy Jibbs, making a movie. And so I made it with the producers of Portlandia and Documentary Now and The Rehearsal. And so if you like any of that kind of stuff, that is pretty much kind of the same vibe as the movie. And essentially, like, I'm making the movie of my dreams, and then the real movie is about me making my movie.
I see. So before all the millions of views and before people thought you were accidentally ending up in different countries, who was Squizzy Jeeves really at the start?
I mean, the same as I am now, which is basically just a person that is really curious, like a snake. And, sometimes when you're like a curious snake, you crawl into one hole and you find surprises. Sometimes you crawl into a bush and you find surprises there. But I'm always just like, slithering around trying to find new adventures and stuff like that. So I think that's just kind of a big part of my whole vibe is just always trying to be curious and stick my nose in places that a curious snake would stick his nose into. And usually, it ends up pointing me into something cool. Sometimes, things get like a little weird, but I mean, I think that's just what life is about is just exploring things and going on adventures. As long as the adventure isn't like, like sticking your hand into a lawnmower, like that's a bad kind of adventure. But,
Yeah.
I think hopefully I'm smart enough not to do that.
So, do you remember the first video you ever posted as Squeezy? And what were you thinking when you posted that?
Yeah, so that would have been 2007 on YouTube. And my thought was, I was just like, I've been through some tough positions in my life. So, probably like the first 30 videos I made, I was like homeless, like either living out of my car or like living in like garages or stuff like that. So, I was just trying to like entertain myself for the most part.
Hmm.
Um, and which is still kind of true to this day. Like my main, probably like my main thing is like I said, like I'm always trying to go on adventures and stuff. And a lot of people think like I'm just constantly filming and making content, but that's I mean most of the time the adventures and stuff are just for me. And then I'm at the point now where it's like I can look at a situation and be like, oh, that makes some good content. But it was pretty much the same back then, where it was just like, well, in my car, I've got 40 rolls of toilet paper because someone told me like if you're living out of your car and you have to poop, you better be prepared. So, it's kind of the same situation where it's like, all right, well, what street am I parked on today? And what do I have around me? And what can I do to entertain myself?
So, how long did it take before something hit and you realize, oh, this is actually going to go viral and this is going to maybe take me somewhere?
Uh, that's a good question. I would say it was probably 2 years of making videos before something went viral and I got on the front page. I don't even think this website exists anymore. It's called like Fark, like FARK. So it's kind of like Reddit. And I got onto the front page of that and then probably nothing again for a little while. But I didn't really start like going super viral until probably 8 or 9 years of making content. And so it wasn't like a quick thing at all.
So, be honest, did you understand why the video started going viral?
Yeah, it's because everybody thought I was stupid.
Hmm.
And so like that, I would the first time I went viral, I got like probably like 1,000 YouTube comments of people like just saying that I should like die and that I was stupid and that like I was an idiot and I mean that sucked. Like that hurt. And so I've been in that position and I feel for people that get like back in the day, you I mean it would happen, but like people didn't really go viral on accident because there wasn't social media wasn't the same and things were pretty different. And so I feel really bad for people now that like all the people with like meta glasses that are going around and filming people, they don't even realize they're being filmed, or prank videos, and you don't realize that you're like in the prank until everybody starts messaging you because you're getting millions of views on YouTube. Like I feel bad for those. Like I never when anytime I create content, like I never do any stuff like that because I just feel like it's super disrespectful. And so, when I went through that, I mean, because obviously I posted a video thinking that like someone would watch it on YouTube or something.
Mhm.
So I assumed like I didn't think it was going to be that crazy, but it was still something that I was a part of consciously. So I can't like I feel really bad for people that like, you know, get taken advantage of like that and then everyone just piling on and calling names and stuff because they didn't ask for that and it sucks. And I've been there. So yeah, I feel for them for sure.
So now that you said that people would comment these awful things, how do you go about dealing with all those type of comments, especially if it comes in that level of volume?
Uh, I mean, there is no easy way to do it. Like there really isn't. And um it just you have to figure it out. You got to figure out how to deal with it. Are you going to process it in a healthy way and let it roll off your back? Are you going to um, realize, like, you know what, I don't want to be a part of this and stop making content? And I think for everybody it's different. But if you push through it, I mean, the only way to do that is to learn not to take it personally. Like that's like literally the biggest lesson I've ever learned in life. So I worked at a retail store in Los Angeles, and this woman came in, and I mean, I don't know if you've ever I don't know if you've ever worked before. You're only 14, right?
Yeah, but I know how to handle money. I know how to work.
Well, yeah. So, like, I mean, here's what I recommend. This is what I recommend for you because, like, I think everybody should work in the service industry at some point, whether you're like a waiter or in retail, because you really understand people a lot more. And so people would come in and just treat me like crap all the time just because I worked at a retail store. It was a store that I'll say it was the Apple store, and I mean people would just come in and yell at me for no reason. I didn't do anything. Just throw stuff, be in a bad mood. And I remember this one time. I'll make this as short as I can, but it was a Sunday night, and this lady comes in and she's got a computer and she wants to return it, but she doesn't have a receipt. But it was sealed. So our policy was like we normally couldn't take returns without a receipt, but if it was sealed and never opened, then we could. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I think we can do that. So I went into the back with the computer and they looked it up, and it turned out it was a computer that we hadn't sold in 8 months, and there was a new model. So we couldn't actually take it back. And so I was like, because now I had to go back and tell her what I just said was not accurate and we couldn't actually take it back. And I told her that, and she screamed at me and started calling me names. She was spitting at me and telling me that she was like, I hope you get fired. You're a horrible person. You're a liar. And I mean, at that point, I had dealt with enough stuff like that where, I was just used to like just de escalating. But like, for some reason, it just popped in my mind to be like, why are you so upset? And I did. I just like as she's screaming at me, I was like, why are you so upset? And she burst into tears. And I did not expect that. And it went from like her screaming at me to me being like, it's okay, it's okay. And she just straight up told me, like, I bought this computer for my husband. He was in the hospital in a coma. and he had some crazy like illness that they never figured out, and he never woke up, and he died. And I went bankrupt and can't pay the bills, and now I'm just trying to sell everything I can so that I don't have to lose my house. And I was like, oh, like damn, like this wasn't about like it was an extreme example of like, oh, this has nothing to do with me. Now that said, that didn't give her the right to like treat me like garbage, but it was that moment where I was just like, oh, this isn't about me. People coming in and screaming and chewing me out, it's never about me. And they just, again, no excuse, but they're just trying to take out their problems on something that they don't think is, they don't see it as human, at least in that moment. So that's something that I've kept with to this day, where I still get tons of comments, people like talking shit, and people just sending me messages and DMs and stuff, and yeah, it still sucks, but like it's not personal. Like I learned that it's not personal. It's not about me. Everyone's going through something, and a lot of people just don't have the skills and the tools to process that in the right way.
Have you ever posted something and people took it way more serious than you expected?
Yeah, I mean that happens. At this point, I'm pretty good. Like if you want a little peek behind the scenes, I'm pretty good at knowing where that line is, and not, not going in a position where it's super easy for somebody to be like taking it the wrong way. But that that can always happen. Like especially if you go super viral and it goes outside the my fan base and people that don't understand where I'm coming from or what I'm doing. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but yeah, I mean it happens.
Mhm. What's the craziest place Skeezy has ever ended up?
Craziest place I was in. I still haven't made a post about this because I don't really have a good reason that I haven't. But I was in the jungles in southern India and ended up finding out about this cult that's like older than Hinduism, and I ended up getting in this car with this dude that didn't speak any English at all, and like zero. Like usually people at least know hello, but he didn't even understand hello. And he drove me like an hour and a half into the middle of the jungle in Kerala, India, and ended up just witnessing like this crazy cult ceremony where they dressed this homie up like an ancient god, and he was like hitting people with his sword. It was crazy. It was like really intense. Everybody was really friendly. Don't get me wrong, but it was like it was something else. That was sick.
Now, you said on online people treat you very harshly. Now, in public, does anybody still treat you like how they treat you on the internet, or is it usually friendly?
Yeah, I mean, and again, when I said like people online, like very few and far between,
Yeah.
But you always got people that are just not thinking, or they're drunk, or whatever reason that they're posting troll comments. I know, so I've never had a bad situation in public. Like, I'm really happy and thankful that like all of my fans are super respectful and super chill. Usually like politely ask like, hey, can I get a selfie or something? Anytime that I go like super viral, where it's just something that gets tons of views and it's like top of everybody's mind during the week, I'll look over and people like try to like sneak pictures. They'll just like kind of just hold their phone up and like they think that I can't see it like pointed directly at me, but
Mhm.
I mean that's just part of the whole situation. Like I wouldn't call that like it's not like mean or anything like that, but I'm very thankful and very lucky that like a lot of my followers are just like really chill and respectful.
Now, has Squeezy ever gotten you into serious trouble before?
No, and part of the reason for that is again, I don't go looking for trouble. Like I don't mess with people. I really do not care for all these content creators and influencers, like I said, that are just like springing traps on people or just using other people for their own content, or just causing problems. Like what I like to do. It's not what I'm about. So yeah, I mean, you go looking for trouble, you'll find trouble. But again, the for me, it's more about like adventures and just going out and exploring different weird things and that kind of stuff.
So you made a full meat suit trying to get into a Lady Gaga show. What was the thought process there?
I mean, Lady Gaga had a meat suit herself at the some awards, and so I was just like, why not? Like, let's go. And so I went and bought $100 worth of lunch meat, and I really like struggled about this because part of me wanted to just go to the grocery store and get like a bunch of ham, but then I was just like, I want to support like a local butcher. So I went to this deli in Boston and I bought it from them. But then I felt bad again because I was like, they're gonna like, because I was asking them for samples because I sewed it all together. So I wanted to make sure that I had a meat that wouldn't just fall off of the thread. And so I'm like getting samples and they're like, and I'm like, oh, tell me about that one and tell me about that one and tell me about soppressettas and prosciuttos and salamis and from different parts of Italy. And then I started thinking like, oh, damn, like, are they going to be like insulted that like I'm making an outfit out of their meat? But again, like I'd rather have the money go to them than than just like some big corporate grocery store or something. Um, but that said, like I still have it. Like I was wearing it and it was delicious. Like that's the best thing about making clothes out of meat is especially like a meat that you can eat. Like if it's raw meat, you can't just take a bite out of a chicken breast that you're wearing around your neck. But the salami, I mean, I'm just sitting there in line at the Lady Gaga concert, and I was just getting hungry and just peeling off pieces of my own outfit and eating it, and it was delicious. Although, because it was so salty, my lips kept getting chapped.
How long did that take you to make?
But it's about 3.5 hours. Because I don't know if you've ever tried to sew meat together, but your fingers like instantly get like super greasy,
Yeah.
and so like holding like the little needle and trying to like put all that together, and that was hard. Although threading the needle is hard, but if you are covered in meat grease, it actually makes it easier because you can use the grease to make the tip of the thread super thin, and then it makes it easier to put through the needle.
Wow, that's actually super smart. Wow.
Yeah.
So when they didn't let you in, what was going through your head in that moment?
Well, so I mean, obviously, like, why not? Because nobody turned Lady Gaga away in her meat outfit. And the reason was they're like, you can't come in here with raw meat. And they were talking about like not bringing in outside food. And so with the raw meat part, like first of all, the meat was cured. Like it's designed to sit on a shelf for months. That's what the preservatives are for. And then second of all, but they did have a point with like not bringing in outside food, and they were just like, you're gonna have to put something else on. But I didn't bring anything else. Like that was the whole point. Like you don't bring a backup outfit when you have like the perfect fit. So yeah, that didn't work at all.
Hmm. So now that we got the movie coming out, when did this idea first hit you full force?
With the movie or the meat suit.
The movie.
So I've been working on like putting that together for a long time. So I went on a live tour a few years ago, and it was really fun and really successful. I went all over the U.S. and then at the last show in Florida, it actually hit me on stage right then. Like so someone was like, "What are you gonna do next?" I was like, "I'm gonna make a movie." So basically, that was probably about 3.5 years ago. 4 years ago was when I first had the idea, and then I started working on it from there. And I don't know if you've ever made a movie before, but it is hard. Like it's a lot of work, and when you're just kind of doing it all independently, it doesn't end when the movie finishes filming. Like there's a whole distribution part and getting it out in front of people and all of that. And so yeah, it's a lot of work.
So was that always the plan, or did that idea just suddenly come about?
It wasn't like hold on, there's a cute little. That's okay.
Aw.
There's I don't know what that thing is, but it is fluffy and round. That's the roundest creature I've ever seen in my life. Um, what was the question?
Was this always the plan to make a movie, or did the idea just come about?
I mean, I've always wanted to make a movie. I think everybody wants to try to make a movie at some point. I mean, maybe not everybody, but I think it's a dream that a lot of people have. I've never had like a chance or an opportunity. Like I am not like in the system. I don't have an agent or a manager or anything. So a lot of the stuff, like I don't live in Los Angeles. A lot of the stuff that I think, a natural pipeline to movie making, that is not something I had at all. So it wasn't until like I had the opportunity to get in front of these producers and talk to them about the idea and start working on that. But even then, like they were down to help, but I didn't get any money from them. I had to raise all the money myself from Kickstarter and from investors. So like again, this isn't like some thing that happens when most people do movies where they get signed by an agent, their agent like, talks to somebody else or like they get hired or whatever. Like I built this whole thing up from the ground up.
Well, so what was harder, going viral online or actually making the movie?
Um, that's a good question. Because I never tried to go viral. Like you don't, which is probably a weird thing to say because I think that's what everybody tries to do now. They're like, everything everyone makes with social media is an attempt at going viral. But I never actually, like I said, I never tried to go viral. The whole point was like making myself laugh or to entertain myself. Um, Sometimes it's even just like, oh, like I'm making something stupid for my friends to make them laugh. But I never like create something with the intention of like, oh, I want to get 1 million views or 5 million views or whatever. So considering that, I never had an intention to go viral, I would definitely say making the movie was harder. And also like the scale of it. Like when it's just me making content, I don't have a, like I said, I don't have a team. There's no like, I don't have like a camera person. It's just me wandering around, thinking of stuff, creating stuff. With the movie, I mean, we had over 200 people involved. So and that's something I could not have done without the producers and the Portland film community just like wanting to help out and make this movie the best that we could do it. I would not. I mean, it's incredibly hard. And even now, like um, taking the movie out on the tour, we're doing over 60 cities in the United States, and then possibly Canada, the UK, and Australia. And it's just me and my tour manager out at almost all of these shows, and it's just the two of us. Like I'm doing the Q&A after every screening. I'm doing the meet and greets. My tour manager is going to be running the merch booth and working with the theaters. So, it's incredibly challenging. But we did pretty good together with the live tour a few years back. So we kind of have like a system in place. But yeah, so that's just a long way of saying making the movie and putting that whole thing together is definitely like a way harder and bigger challenge um than trying to go viral or something like that.
Now, for someone coming to the Buffalo premiere, what should they expect walking in?
So company in, so basically like I'll introduce the movie and then you get to see you get to be the first people in Buffalo because this is not available streaming yet. The whole point of the tour is to build hype, build momentum before we release it digitally. So you will be among the first people and definitely the first people in Buffalo to see the movie.
Mhm.
It's about 85 minutes long, and then afterwards I do a Q&A, and then after that I do a full meet and greet. So it's like a full experience. It's not just the premiere of my movie; it's also me live in person. Again, doing Q&A and like some fun some fun shenanigans, the meet and greet, and the whole deal.
Now, is there like a full story in this movie, or is it kind of like chaotic a little bit?
No. It's like, and that's been part of my challenge because like people that are used to my content, just there is like this chaos and this kind of like you never know what's gonna happen. But without giving too much away, like this is like an actual movie with a full story and a full plot. It's and hopefully you can make it on Saturday yourself
Of course.
and even write an honest review. Tell people what you think about it. And I think the best thing to say is like, so if you go to Letterboxd, because we did 8 shows in the Pacific Northwest to do like this test run before we did the U.S. tour, and so we got a couple hundred reviews on Letterboxd, and on there, like the spoilers are hidden unless you click on it. So if you want to see what other people think of the movie, go check out the Letterboxd reviews, and then that'll give you like an idea and a vibe of what you can expect. And I only paid off like half of those people to write positive reviews. The other half are like completely accurate.
So, with this movie being released, and like you just said, with reviews coming in, are you honestly very happy with the reviews coming in? Like, is this the feedback that you wanted to see?
Yeah, 100%. And I'm proud of it. Like even if nobody else liked it, I'm super proud of it. I'm really happy with it. It came out better than I had hoped it would be. Uh, but it's like so. I'll lift the veil up a little bit more. So this is where because people are like, why don't you just put it on YouTube and put it out there and all this kind of thing? And so, like I said, I had to raise the money myself, and so we have investors that I'm trying to pay back. And then after that, all the cast and crew worked for the same low amount with the agreement that if and when we make money, they'll get paid on what they would have made on like a bigger production. So bucket one is I got to pay back all the investors plus 20% of what they invested. Bucket two is making all the cast and crew whole. And then I don't see a dime of profit until after those two buckets are full. So not only am I trying to get my investors paid back, who are super chill and like they're like, take your time. I'm trying to get my cast and crew paid what they're worth. And then of course I'd like to make some money for myself. And doing this all independently, that's another big reason why we're taking this out on the road, trying to generate and the income, like we're not going to make nearly enough on the tour to fill those buckets, but that money goes back into paying other bills like putting us out on streaming, paying for PR, paying for ads, all of that. So it's this long process to fill bucket one, fill bucket two, and then hopefully get to the point where I start making some money off of bucket three.
Now,
So
what?
that said, and sorry, and so yeah, again, that said, I'm proud of the movie. Like if I didn't have those other buckets that I was trying to fill,
Mhm.
I would just be like, hey, everybody check it out, but like I'm not like I have a decent amount of followers, but I'm not like some rich YouTuber that just, can just throw a few $1 million at a movie and whether or not it does anything, it doesn't matter because I'm filthy rich. Like that's not me. So I'm just trying to do this the best way that I can with the resources that I have. Oh hell yeah. I got I got a jogger.
Oh,
I'm doing an interview with Jam Man, right?
yes.
Oh yeah, I should probably look at. Oh yeah, have a good run. Um, so yeah, so like trying to just fill those buckets and then fill my own bucket afterwards.
Now, what city are you most hyped for?
I'm like for like pretty much most cities. There's only a couple places I've been to in my life that I didn't really enjoy because again, I'm like super curious and like pretty much everywhere's got at least 1 or 2 days worth of cool stuff to do. I've never been to Buffalo to spend time. I flew into the airport there once and then drove straight to Toronto.
Mhm.
So I've never really spent any time in Buffalo. So I gotta get some wings. I might try to get out to Niagara if I got time, because that's pretty close to you guys, right? Like, just maybe throw a leaf in the water and watch it go over the falls. Um, so yeah, I mean, pretty much looking forward to just the adventure. The tricky thing is, this is so another thing you have to do with the tour is you can't just spend like 3 days in every city. Like every day that you're not doing a show, you're losing money.
Mhm.
So I got to go from city to city to city, and this first stretch is 8 days in a row. So I'm going to be in a new city every single day for 8 days straight, and then I get like a tiny, tiny little break, and then back at it again. So that's the the real question is like, what can I do when I only have like a couple hours in each city between getting set up and driving to the next town and that kind of thing.
Now, this is not your first tour. You lived on the road with Metallica. How did Skweezy Jibbs end up becoming the fry cook for Metallica, and what happened to that?
What's the most delicious food you've ever had?
Me?
Yeah, personally, like, can you think of like one meal or one kind of like what's something that sticks out in your mind?
Oh, chicken wings. Buffalo chicken wings, always.
All right, so my fries are better than that.
I would
And
believe it.
well, you're wrong.
Okay.
Uh, so basically, that's the answer. Like when you taste my garlic fries, they're the chewiest, crispiest things you've ever put in your mouth. And I got lucky. I got in with some different bands. I was touring with Metallica for a while on the St. Anger tour, cooking fries. Unfortunately, that didn't end in the best way, but I did learn a valuable life lesson, which is you cannot wear another person's robe and pee all over it and then give it back to them. You just can't, and so it's disrespectful. And I learned a big lesson from that. But yeah, there was a while where I just got passed around like a French fry groupie from band to band, just living on the road. Papa Roach, Mudvayne, Disturbed, Metallica, of course. And you ask any of those people what their favorite food ever is, and I would say at least 30% of them will say Skweezy's garlic fries.
Okay. Now, if you were on death row, what would your final meal be?
My own garlic fries.
All
Like
right. All
the
right.
kind of play. If I had to take a second,
Yeah.
so number one would be my own garlic fries. Number two would be a new kind of fry that I've been working on that uses it's basically like a charred rosemary and a burnt parmesan, which sounds weird, but it's delicious. And then I guess number three would probably be spaghetti.
Got it. Okay.
And number four would be chocolate chip cookies. So I would probably say like, it's like one of those trick questions where like the genie pops up and they're like, you get three wishes, and you're like, okay, wish number one, I want 10 more wishes. It would be the same for me on death row, where they'd be like, what's your last meal? And I'd be like, my last meal is I want four last meals.
Now, will you ever sell your own squeezy seasoning?
That's a tricky question because it's not a seasoning. So
I
like it's part of it is the way that I cook it, but then like the ingredients themselves are not secret. It's garlic, and then sea salt and potatoes, and then I'm not going to mention like the other ones, but like there's really nothing like it's not really seasoning per se. It's like the herbs and the way that I actually cook the fries.
So, with that being said, then, would you ever make a video about it or at least like a cookbook?
Yeah, that's one of those things I might do like when I'm like 93 years old and I'm just like croaking, and I'll just kind of like turn on my VR phone or whatever it is we're gonna have at that point when we're living under the sea, and I'll just like kind of do this, and I'll bring the phone up close, and then I'll just divulge my secret or show how it's done, something along those lines. But I mean, that's one of the things that makes me special, so I can't just give that away before my time.
I get it. I get it. So when are the tour dates for your movie screenings?
So it kicks off April 2nd in Boston, where I'm at right now, and then it just goes all the way through the month of April. Then I take a little break. I'm actually going on a tour, Skweezy tour in Japan, where I'm going to get a bunch of fans, and they're going to come out and travel across Japan with me. And then the tour picks up back again in June, and it's going to be June, July, August, September, and you can see the whole thing. So the first leg of tickets are available now on squeezymovie.com, and then the rest of them we're gonna announce and put up for sale in early May. But you'll see pretty much all the cities, even if the tickets aren't ready yet, on squeezymovie.com.
So, since you said there was like a full story to this movie, is there plans for a sequel or even something like a prequel?
I would love to do that. Again, to be completely honest, like I'm not getting another chance at this unless this one works.
Hmm.
So I got to put everything I have into this one first,
I see.
and hopefully, like, but I would, yeah, we've definitely got ideas on what to do next. But that's all dependent on, what we can do with the first one.
Now, is there a celebrity that you really want in the Squeezy universe if there's able to make more movies?
Probably, I would have to say Vin Diesel. Like, if I could get Vin Diesel in like, if I got a chance to make a second movie or a show or something, and I could get Vin Diesel in there,
Mhm.
that would be sick.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My biggest, I don't know if I can. I mean, you're pretty young, so I don't.
You can say
I
it.
mean, yeah. I mean, my crush growing up was Vin Diesel with breasts.
Yeah, same here for me, but with like Mark Wahlberg.
Oh hell yeah,
Yeah, Marky Mark. Don't even get me started on him.
I feel you.
Yeah, like you said, Boston, dude, those Boston guys, man, they do it. They do something. They do it different. They do it different.
Yep, yep.
So, what is the biggest misconception about you?
Biggest misconception is that I guess it's just like I'm an idiot.
Hmm.
Cause like I mean, actually that's not true. Cause I sometimes I kind of am. I think the biggest misconception is that you know just because I'm an idiot, I can't accomplish what I want to accomplish. Like stupid people can do anything. You can be president of the United States and be stupid. So
Hmm.
like that's the biggest misconception. And I think that um I think I would love to form like advocacy group for stupid people and just be like, hey, we can do things too.
Hmm. Now, if Squeezy disappeared tomorrow and something happened to your account and just like following went down, what type of person are you without it? And what should I say better is who are you without him?
I mean, whatever I want to be, I guess. Like I'm really like again, like if I wanted to be famous, it would not have taken 19 years of making content to uh, get to a point where I'm out here with a movie and stuff. Like uh, again, like I have a lot of content and stuff that I put out, but I don't spend nearly as much time as I think people may think that I do, like doing stuff. I don't live online. I don't even barely use social media personally. Um, I've I would probably just go and keep having adventures. Like that's and the places that I like to go and travel are like super